Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to talk about a very important aspect and a very common and simple remedy which can help us elevate our stress and anxiety levels. So, what is it? But before I dig deep into that, I want to mention certain things. So, those who will be watching this video and whatever uh, things I will be mentioning in the video, the remedies I would talk about in the video. So, that remedy should be used only by those people who are not undergoing any specific medical condition, and and it is not applicable for pregnant women as well. So please take care of that. In case you want to apply this remedy in your day-to-day life, then and if you are undergoing some medical condition, then you are supposed to refer to a medical practitioner before you do that. Otherwise, normally it doesn't carry any harm. So what am I going to discuss with all of you today? We all experience stress and anxiety at some or the other points in our life, but how we need to overcome it, right? How we can overcome it, that is the main point here. Now I'm going to discuss about a very simple remedy. Now tell me, before I discuss that, I have an experience to give you. How have you experienced when suddenly somebody has thrown ice cold water on you, or your geyser is not working and you have to wash your face with an ice cold water coming out of your tap? What was the feeling at that time and how did you feel? Just take a pause and think about it, and then I will carry forward. Now, what happens is that a sudden feeling of we get this kind of reaction whenever we splash our water with a ice cold water. At times when you have to do it, it may be an emergency situation, or you do it willingly, that doesn't matter. Or maybe you are just enjoying with your friends and you're throwing water at each other. But what kind of reaction your body gives, it's like this, right? So it is a physiological reaction that your body give to that splash of cold water. Now how does this cold water immersion technique help you elevate stress and anxiety levels? That's very interesting. Now what happens is, all these things that I'm going to talk about here is are based on research and have been very well tried and tested. So I will be talking about some medical terminologies as well, but I'll try to make the content simple and easy for all of you to understand. Now what happens is that when we immerse ourselves in cold water, or we simply splash our face with cold water, so that brings in a kind of response in our body and helps our nervous system to shift to a parasympathetic mode, right? So it helps us release some good hormones in our body and help our nervous system to shift to a parasympathetic mode, which is also known as rest and digest state in common terms, right? Now there is a therapy called hydrotherapy, which is not a very new term. It has been used for ages. What do we do in that? In hydrotherapy, people take bath or splash themselves with water at different temperatures, and it dates back to Hippocrates. And he used to believe that cold water immersion, or using cold water to bathe or wash yourself, helps in reducing the symptoms of lassitude. Now what is lassitude? Lassitude is the physical and mental weariness in your body, right? So it dates back to those times when we can say that science was not very well developed. Now we come to the hormonal aspect. So, cold water immersion is believed to release good hormones in our body whenever our nervous system is undergoing a stress or depression state. Which all hormones are released when you immerse yourself in cold water? That is noradrenaline, beta endorphins, and dopamine. So, dopamine is a common hormone which you must have heard everywhere, which is also known as a feel good hormone. So, it helps relax your body, it helps you give good feelings, right? Then we have noradrenaline. So, noradrenaline is a hormone as well as a neurotransmitter, right? So there is a little bit of difference between hormones and neurotransmitters are chemicals which are released at the nerve endings, and once they have done the transmitting of the message from the sensation to the brain in your body, then they are reabsorbed by the body. But this doesn't happen with hormones. So hormones have a larger reach as compared to neurotransmitter. But noradrenaline is considered both as a neurotransmitter and as an hormone, right? So neurotransmitter helps you to gives you a wake up call. It makes you more alert and makes you more focused. So it has to be released in your body at an optimum level. If you release too much of noradrenaline, if your body is releasing too much of noradrenaline, then it can lead to overactiveness in your body, which will actually wear you off your physical limits, right, as well as mental limits. But if it is released less than required, then it makes you very lazy, it makes you very sleepy, it makes you feel like not doing anything, right? So it has to be released at an optimum level. Then we have beta endorphins. So beta endorphins are also the hormones which are believed to reduce your stress and anxiety levels in your nervous system. So they basically act to in those circuits of the nervous system which are actually causing stress and anxiety for you. So all these hormones are believed to be released when people immerse themselves in cold water, right? Or you just wash your face or maybe take bath with the cold water. So there are many groups in UK and USA where people have made clubs, like where they intentionally go to the pools, cold water pools, to swim, just to have this benefit for themselves. Next is cold water immersion also acts like an ice pack, right? It acts like an ice pack. So what do we do when we usually get burned? We what do? We suddenly put our hand or our burnt area under cold water, right? So it basically have that means it helps in reducing the inflammatory response in our body. So when you undergo stress and anxiety, these are also considered as inflammatory markers in your body, which are helped to be reduced with the cold water immersion technique. Then we have, so human body, the skin, right, our skin, it has many cold receptors, it has a large number of cold receptors. So that is why what happens, we all feel cold, we all feel that chilling cold. Why? Because our skin is full of cold receptors, right? Now what happens is that when you feel cold, suddenly when you splash yourself with ice cold water, or suddenly you touch a slab of ice, what happens, your skin get that sensory input, and it sends all that big influx of sensory input to your brain, and the brain then gets occupied otherwise, your nervous system gets occupied otherwise when it gets a strong influx of these sensory inputs due to the sudden cold sensation in your body. So it basically break the circuits of anxiety and depression which goes on otherwise, right? Then we have plunging into cold water. How does it affect physiologically? It acts as a physiological stressor, means it helps us to shift temporarily to a state called sympathetic state, where we actually become more alert and more adaptive to the danger that we are going to face or we are facing, right? And these little sudden temporary shifts from a relaxed state to a danger state, like that is from parasympathetic state to sympathetic state, help us deal with these kind of emotions with more resilience and strength every time. And this is also done with this simple technique of cold water immersion. It's amazing, right? Now, cold water immersion also, and this particular technique where I'm saying that physiological, our body acts, cold water immersion acts as a physiological stressor at times. This is also known as cross adaptation. right? And then cold water immersion also help reduce panic attacks, because what happens is it helps relax the vagus nerve, right? It helps relax your vagus nerve. It when you means when you dunk your face into cold water, like you simply just put your face into a big tub of cold water, what happens actually, and you hold it for 15 to 30 seconds, then what happens, the blood which was rushing to the non essential organs in your body, it changes its path, and instead it rushes to your brain and heart, which again helps to re regulate your body system to a normal state, helping you release your stress and anxiety. So, I guess this little technique is so very much beneficial, and I hope that all of you must have got a fair idea that how a simple thing like splashing your water with cold water whenever you are splashing your face with cold water whenever you are undergoing stress and anxiety can help you in so many different ways, physiologically, mentally, at the hormonal level, right? And your how your body reacts and acts in that situation. So try all these techniques, and bear in mind that when you are doing this, consciously think about it, that your body is feeling relaxed, you are getting relief from your anxiety and stress. I will be making some more videos on how we can release our stress and anxiety, and I will be coming up with nice implementable techniques. And in my next video, I will also be talking about myself, that how I underwent this particular problem and how I overcame that by doing what. Till then, take care, stay cool, stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed, and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye bye.